Hi guys, Jay Smith here, welcome to the AskGolfNut channel and welcome to Wilson DynaPower Forged. It's new for 2024. It goes alongside the DynaPower Cast. I've already done a review of that one. You can see that one up there. Obviously watch that one after this though. So the DynaPower Forged sits in the range between the DynaPower Cast, which is their full-on game improvement iron. They've also got the launch pads as well for the ultimate game improvement iron. And then you've got the player's side. I've done the Blade and the CB 2024 irons already. So you can see on the old content list down the bottom, video list, if you want to watch that. The technology within this, before we give this a hit, you've got the variable face thickness is AI designed apparently. Now the interesting thing is this is 8620 steel. This is made of the same steel forged as the Blade and also the CB, so it should sound really nice, as in feel as well, so impact, feel and sound interchangeable. So if you haven't seen those videos that I've already done, the CB and the Blade, the 8620 steel and those golf clubs just feel gorgeous to hit. They just feel so soft, so dull sounding. Now again, that's subjective. People that care about feel, there you go. People don't care about feel, just ignore what I'm saying. So this is made of the same metal, so it will be interesting to see how this feels, because obviously with the tech inside here, we have actually got the new power hole design. That bit that you see in the sole there, that's designed to get the bottom of the sole flexing when you don't quite hit the middle. Again, when it comes to forgiveness testing, I will be testing all over the face to see how well these power holes work. And they do actually say when it comes to the forgiveness of this thing, they've moved the center of gravity slightly towards the toe and lower down for it to be a little bit more helpful off center hits. So I will be doing also the testing at the end. I'll be doing the testing at 3 different swing speeds. I'll be hitting my normal shots. We're going to just go into a green in a sec, but I will be doing all the testing at 70 miles an hour, 80 miles an hour, 90 miles an hour, because obviously the forge being 30.5 degrees, lofts up on the screen. This is going to be for a kind of a bridging golf club for people that are going from the DynaPower Cast to full-on game improvement that hasn't quite got the strike to move into the player's side, but could quite easily work their way into this. Right, let's go get this on a hole. Let's actually go see how the DynaPower Forge iron feels. 8620 steel, same as the player's side. It'll be interesting to see how well this works. Right, simulator is now on. We're at Glenfora Golf Club's hole 5. It's a par 5 normally, but I actually quite like the entrance into this hole. It's 170 yards I've set it to, and as you can see, we've got a dike before the green, and that dike runs right down the left-hand side of that green. And this green is not very wide where that pin location is, right at the front. So the miss is definitely long and also right. Left is fairly dead because that's water. But it'll be a bit of fun because it's YouTube, why not? So the DynaPower Forge, quickly before we give it a hit, let's go see what it looks like. We have got a shiny body. Now anyone who knows me, I like my chrome, and when it comes to this, there is quite a bit of chrome on the back. Now you can see there is visible tech kind of things on the back badge. You can see it's a little bit more busy, especially than that of the CB and especially the Blade, but it actually does look quite nice. It is a game improvement iron, yes it is, but it doesn't shout too much of tech, 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 tech. Obviously you look at the sole, and the sole thickness on that is fairly medium to thick, but you have got those power holes there, but you compare that to the DynaPower Cast, and obviously that sole gets much bigger in the Cast version. Top lines is, I would definitely say, medium to thick. Again, not quite as thick as the DynaPower Cast. And blade lengths are actually quite nice. When you look at these, they're not overpoweringly massive. Now, they're not small. You compare that to the Blade and the CB, and they are bigger, but you compare that to other game improvement irons, which massive blade lengths. They are medium, we'll say. There is a little bit of offset there, but I mean, this is a bridging iron. This is supposed to bridge you from the super game improvement irons, or at least the game improvement irons, all the way through to the players. And so there's a graduation in the offset, but yeah, it looks nice. Right, let's go give it a hit, and let's see if we can not stick it in the drink. Well, it would have been good if I'd have hit it anywhere near the middle. That is not middle. Not even close to middle. Now, it felt low heely, 7 mil low, 13 mil heel. There you go. That's a pretty good example. Swing speeds 87 point whatever it was. I did see on quad just there. That was poor, we'll call it, but it's still gone 30 yards in the air and 45 degrees to center angle, so it still stopped, as you quite easily saw. So that was low heel, and my face was fractionally open to a path which is fractionally across. So baby fade dynamics, but the strike, that should be disappearing off to the right on normal golf, on most golf clubs, low heel will gear massively off to the right. That actually has not, it's held its line. 1.33 efficiency That's not bad. I will say that. Feel-wise, okay, that's probably not the best one to say feel. Let's just do a better job of actually hitting it where we want so we can understand how it feels. Oh, he's left. I think he's long enough, but he's left. Go on, get down on the green. Yeah, that's fine. Don't go left, don't go left. Went left. Path across and face is 0. Strike is much, much better. So let's critique the old feel. Now that one there, that was 1 mil hill, 4 mil low, so basically in the middle. 32 yards in the air, 46 degrees center angle, just works fine, no problem. The feel. It definitely does not feel the same as the player's side, we'll put it that way. Even though apparently it's the same steel. It must have something to do with all that tech you've got in the bottom. But it does make it feel a little bit more crispy, shall we say. The strike, rather than it's gone the thud, gone as the quiet thud, we are now into game improvement. Hi, I've got tech. I mean, it doesn't put me off, but obviously I've just done 2 videos with the blade and the CB. Go to this, and even though it's made of the same stuff, it is distinctly different, shall we say. Give it another go. That's safe. Ooh. A little bit of a software glitch there. It's fine. Again, you'll be interested to see on this one. This is what I have found with this golf club. So path was across and face was slightly open, 2 mil low, 4 mil hill. Just good shot, no worry. So my face is open by 1.1 to a path which is across. That is basically saying, can you fade a touch, please? Strike is good, no problem with that. 34 yards in the air, 47 degrees center angle, 173, really good. Clubhead speed's 87.6 miles an hour is really good. But that wanting to draw, that has got a touch of tilt axis to the left, the draw. Even though my face is 1.1 degrees open, that is one thing I have noticed with this thing, that it has a tendency to want to move to the left a fraction, not a huge amount, not a massive. This is, I've played with, well, I say used golf clubs, with a much more draw bias nature than this one, but it has just got a touch more wanting to stay off the right, we'll call it. And on this hole, with the trouble down the left, I don't want that. I don't want that at all. I want this to stay right, if anything, because that right-hand bunker is looking lovely. Feel-wise, yeah, I mean, you can tell it. I mean, that was pretty middle, and it doesn't feel bad at all. I mean, I'm just saying this because I've literally just done the CB and the blade, but it's working really well, and it has got a little bit of a satisfying, confidence-inspiring punch to it, for sure. Uh-oh. Carry. 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 Yeah, I'll take that. Again, not the greatest of strikes at all. Low heel again. That was definitely going left because I had delivered my face slightly closed. I was worried about that as soon as I hit it. But 30 yards in the air, 44 degrees center angle, will stop on a green again if you hit it. But it is definitely wanting me to go left. On this hole, it's definitely not something that I want because left is not very good. But it'll be interesting to see through my testing after this, hit it loads and loads of times at different speeds, if it still has the favoured tendency to want to go over the left-hand side. And we'll also do it at 3 different swing speeds. There you go, that's not bad whatsoever. That's going to be on the safe side of the green. Still left though. 1.37 efficiency I saw down there, which is good. Club path is just half a degree across, face is perfect. 5 mil low, 0 mil hill, so decent strike. Not, well, again, you can complain with that one at all. 33 yards in the air and 46 degrees ascending angle at 173. It's just working really, really well. You can't complain with these whatsoever. It's launching well, it's spinning pretty good at 5.2. I can't remember what the figures were for the blade and etc., but they weren't that much dissimilar to this. So it spins well for a game improvement. One last one. Let's see if we can actually go to the right-hand side of the green, shall we? That's one way of doing it. Now, that's me feeling like I'm distinctly cutting it. Club paths are across, slightly across, 1.3 across, 1.4 open, slightly low, slightly heely. Everything there says move right quite a lot. And it's actually not moving that much whatsoever. So it does have this tendency, I'm finding, to want to not be as fade biased as the swing would dictate. And so that's going to help a lot of golfers in, it's not an aggressive thing. That's one thing, it doesn't really want to like just jack it left straight away. We are talking about a small tendency that I'm finding so far. Right, let's go hit this a load of times all around the face, not just kind of low heel. We'll get it all over there. We'll go heels, toes, lows, all the places that you hit it, because obviously this has got AI face and it has got those power holes at the bottom to protect against off-center hits. So let's go do that. Also do the test at 70 miles an hour, 80 miles an hour, and 90 miles an hour to see how functional the new DynaPower forged iron from Wilson really performs. Let's go see how the Wilson DynaPower forged iron got on when I hit it all over the face, and also captured some information at different swing speeds, because obviously when it comes to changing your swing speeds, not everyone swings at 90 miles an hour. So there will come a point, especially with this golf club being 30.5 degrees aloft, if you were to go into a 6 iron, when you see the lofts up on the screen now, as soon as you start going to say 6 irons and 5 irons and stuff like that, there will be a point, even at slower swing speeds at 70 miles an hour, because I've captured 90, 80 and 70 miles an hour swing speeds, that this golf club will have a tendency not to be as functional, and then you're going to have to think about either going to something like the DynaPower cast with a bigger bodied head, lower further back CG, trying to help the golf ball launch even more, or potentially even going to a hybrid. So let's go, we'll have a look at that one at the back end of doing all the forgiveness side of things, but let's go have a look at the averages. How well does this thing do when I swing it at my semi-normal speed? Ball speed, you can see 123.1 miles an hour, launched at 19.2. Now that is launching very well, considering this is 30.5 degrees, basically 3.5 degrees less loft than the CB and the blade, but it's only launching within a degree of the other two. So it's actually doing very, very good job of actually launching the golf ball, considering its lack of loft compared to the blade and the CB. Again, no difference with the spin. You got 5.3, 5,300 spin. And if you compare that to the likes of the CB and also the blade, which has much more loft, 3.5 degrees or so, one extra club, it's spinning fairly comparable to that. So it's actually doing really well. It's carrying 178 yards, which is a mighty long way for a 7 iron, too far for me. But then this is why I play more traditionally lofted irons, and then peaking height at 37 yards in the air and descending at 49 degrees. That will stop on any green. Anything over 45 degrees will stop even on the hardest of greens. Well, US Open maybe not, but you kind of get the idea. And then you're looking at, in reality, between 40 and 45 degrees is a number that people really need to be looking at to make sure they've got control when that golf ball carries onto the putting surface. Clubhead data, we're here, got 91 miles an hour, 90.6. Efficiency, 1.36. That's a measure of your bang for your buck, effectively. Efficiency smash factor is exactly the same thing. It's a measure of how much ball speed do you get out per clubhead speed that you put in. Club pass from fade to path is very kind of 0-0, little baby fade dynamics with loft at 25.5 degrees, and my face impact 2 mil hill, 3 mil low on average. And I've got stand deviation on there for all to see. So how well does this thing work out the middle? Well, we need to understand that before we then look at how well it works on off-center hits. And I'll capture one here, 1 mil low, 0 mil hill, so fairly 0, 25 degrees aloft, and 1.38 efficiency, which is not bad at all. This DynaPower forged at 30.5 degrees is one of the springiest faces I've tested so far. When it comes to the forgiveness side, we'll do that now so we can see what it's good and where it's not quite so good. You've got one here, 10 mil heel, 2 mil high, so with 12 mil gross, so within ½ inch. But that's a normal heel shot. 10 mil is a normal heely shot. You start going massively more than that, and I wouldn't do that anyway, because obviously you've got the hosel there, and the last thing you want to do is hosel rocket pipe one. But it's doing quite well, 1.37 efficiency, even at more loft. We've got about a degree or so more loft than the previous maxed out one, and so even at ½ an inch off the heel, give or take, that would effectively not lose anything if I was to take that 1 degree less loft off, or more loft off, and make it a bit more efficient. It's doing great. Out of just slightly normal heel shots, just doing great. 9mm low, 2 mil heel. So we got again, loft is good, face delivery is pretty good, slightly closed but pretty good. And it's just 9mm low, and we're looking at 1.34 efficiency. Now, is it class leading? No. Is it good? Yes, it is. It's a decent result. 0.04 off a low strike, generally speaking, low on the face isn't good either, because obviously you start running out of springy faces quite quickly when you start going low on the face. but it's doing quite well considering. Again, is it class leading? No, but it's doing quite well. Now let's push it to 16 millimeters low, 2mm hill, 1.29. Now that is losing out a little bit. We are now 0.08 or so, 0.09 off of maxed out, and I'm not surprised. 16 millimeters low. If imagine if a golf ball is that big up on screen, when it comes to its size, you haven't got much room past 16 millimeters before you are equatoring that golf ball, and you are smacking that thing knee high to a grasshopper, and anyone down the fairway at 100 yards is going to be jumping over the golf ball as it whistles past their ankles. It is fairly thin, but it's still doing really well. It's still trying to launch the golf ball. Okay, we've got a decent carry at 165, and to be fair, it's spinning quite well at 5.2 as well. Face is slightly open at 1.7, so again, if you take 2 degrees off of that, or at least a degree off of that, that efficiency will come back up into the 1.3s, maybe the 1.31 possibly. But even if it's 1.3, that is doing really well from 16 millimeters low, like properly well from 16 millimeters low. However, guys, if you're going to be commonly hitting shots from there, I would absolutely suggest getting a lesson rather than ever worrying about equipment to try and fix your woes. That's fairly thin. So 9mm toe, 1mm high, 1.37 efficiency. This is a normal, what we'd see as toe strike. Absolutely fine. And what I'm finding from this DynaPower Forge line, if you move around the middle, hit the middle, move around the middle a little bit, it does not drop hardly anything noticeable at all. It just does so well at capturing very good efficient shots. As soon as you start moving around the face a little bit more, it does have a tendency to drop off a bit more than others. What I'm saying, I'm not saying it's bad in any way, shape or form. What I'm saying is, if we go to the next one, it shows another one, 17mm toe, 0mm high. So within reason, nearly 3/4 of an inch off the toe, which is still fairly toey. 1.29 efficiency. Now we have got a face which is fractionally open, 1.9 degrees, which is 1.2 degrees more than the maxed out one. But even if I was to take that 1 degree or so face open more and close it, and to make it slightly more efficient, the maximum it would go to 1.30, and it's still doing fine. We are dropping 0.09 from max. And again, is it class leading? No. Is it bad? Not in any way, shape or form. It would say it would be a middle of the ground. This DynaPower Forge does very well in and around the middle. The actual middle and in and around middle is one of the springiest faces I think I've ever tested. It's just a case of as soon as you start moving considerably away from the middle, it does have a slightly more of a drop off relative to that, how well the middle works. Again, it doesn't mean it bad, it just more so means how well the middle is working and in around the middle. Right, let's go have a look at what happens when you swing at different swing speeds and see at what point this DynaPower forged iron starts becoming non-functional from the point of view of flight. Now I've got all the information up on there, if I can get it up on there, because there's a lot of information up there just for the club head data first. I will not go into too much detail on there. The main things that you really need to look at, again, you can look at other bits, you can freeze frame it if you want, but I've got 90 miles an hour, 80 miles an hour and 70 miles an hour, all 10 miles an hour gaps, all within half a mile an hour of each other. And the main thing to look at also is the strikes, which is relatively small. We're talking 4 mil. It is small. And the loft, I've got 25 degrees, 25.5, 25.3 and 25.5. So all of them within 0.2 of a degree. And the only thing I would say on there out of all of them, if you look at the blue one, the attack angle on the 70 miles an hour is 1.4 degrees less than the other two. That is the only thing that I can say that actually the data set's not near on perfect. I am human, remember. I'm not a robot. But that's as close as I can reasonably get. So the more important ball data from that clubhead data we've seen there, which is fairly basically bland, just clubhead speed change. And we're looking at launching at 19.2, 19.4, 19.8. And I will say this from the DynaPower, because of the help with the lower further back center of gravity, considering this is basically a full golf club stronger than the Blade and the CB, it's not far off launching exactly the same as the Blade and CB. So that help in trying to get that golf ball launching it's doing a really very good job. If you look at the carry distance, of course, with the speeds, you're looking at 90 miles an hour goes 178, 80 miles an hour goes 159, and 70 miles an hour goes 137. But considering, I mean, that's not bad. That's within reason, 19-yard gaps and 20. We're talking about a 20-yard gap, give or take, for the swing speed difference, which is actually within reason, is bang on perfect what you'd expect for a 10 miles an hour difference. Look at the peak heights: 37 yards in the air, 28 yards in the air, and 21 yards in the air, which again equates to 49 degrees descent angle, 44 degrees descent angle, and then 39. So I would say this: if you're going to be swinging at 70 miles an hour with a DynaPower forged iron, if you deliver more loft than me, that will then encourage more peak height and better descent angle, but you will lose a little bit of distance. 137, that's probably 137 at 70 miles an hour. It's probably one of the longest irons I've ever tested at 70 miles an hour. Just goes again, just how well the middle of that face really works. But you can see there, it's now 39 degrees. I would be saying to the person on here, absolutely, definitely, I would suggest not to go to a 6 iron if you're going to swing at 70 miles an hour or less. Absolutely go to something like the DynaPower full-on cast, which helps even more getting the golf ball in the air, or potentially go and launch pad, or just a hybrid, which I would say hybrid, you kind of gain the advantages, even bigger, lower, further back CG, and obviously slightly longer shaft, which will give you a little bit more clubhead speed and a little bit more ball speed with that extra launch. It just works much better. But I would say if you run it 80 miles an hour, you could conceivably easily have a 6 iron with this set, and then think about 5 iron, going to something a little bit more sensible. And then if you're swinging at 90 miles an hour plus, I would seriously suggest you consider, is this the iron set best for you? Because unless you're going to crank them, like weaken them off massively, 180 yards carry for a 7 iron might be a fraction too much. Now my 7 iron goes 164 yards and I swing when I'm fully warmed up at 91, 92 miles an hour. And so I like sensible loft gaps, distance gaps between my lofts. And if you're going to be doing a 7 iron at 180, how big are your loft gaps going to be, or how many wedges are you going to need? So again, you can see how the characteristic of the golf club changes as you take speed off, etc. So my conclusion when it comes to the DynaPower forged is, let's go by the looks first. Actually, out of all the forged irons that I think I've ever used, really, actually, it looks really nice. I'm a chrome kind of guy, and I like the chrome on the back of it. It makes it look really classy. It's busy out the back. Again, it's a game improvement iron. It doesn't shout too much of tech, but there is tech in it. Yes, you can see on the sole there, you can see the power holes. That is either subjective to either you like it or you don't. Again, I'm not a great fan of visible tech on certain golf clubs, but then again, I'm a blade player. And this is absolutely subjective, and it makes no difference what I think. It's all down to what you guys think. Feel-wise, it's made of the same metal, the 8620, as the blade and the CB. However, there is a distinctly different feel to it. There is no dull thud softness that you get with the lovely CB and blade. It is a little bit more punchy and a little bit more confidence inspiring punchy. You definitely know that you've hit it. Is it loud? No, but it is a distinct change for when you go from something like the blade or the CB, considering it is made of the same metal. When it comes to performance, it works really well. Out of the middle, this thing absolutely rockets. Doesn't matter if you swing it at 70 miles an hour, 80 miles an hour, or 90 miles an hour, it really does rocket. The only thing I would say when it comes to its performance is, if you're going to have normal mishits around this, it works absolutely brilliantly, really does. One class leading from in and around the middle. If you're going to move around the middle quite substantial amounts, I would be first of all, I'd get lessons anyway, because again, this is the forged iron with tech. It's designed to be used by players which have a slightly better strike consistency anyway. And if you're going to be moving around and you don't want lessons and you want equipment to fix it, then you wouldn't go for the forged, you'd go for the full-on cast, because it will be more helpful from massive mishits. But again, get lessons, because it's just a lot better for your golf. It's a really good golf club, something you should really go and test. Its price point obviously is a definite plus side, we'll call it, because it is priced at a certain point less than the premium brands. Yes, you're going to have certain issues when it comes to custom fitting, because Wilson do offer custom fit specifications when it comes to their shafts, etc. Not all of them are non-upchargeable, so you do have to be aware the fact that some options that they have are of an upcharge. But again, you'll find them, go through that when it comes to your fitter when you get custom fit anyway. So hope you liked the video. If you did, go on, thumbs up. YouTube likes, so do I. Down there is the subscribe button. It's free. It's great for the channel if you could subscribe, so thank you. And next to that is a bell icon, that's a notification bell. If you click that one, that will let you know next time I upload another video. So I hope you're well, and we'll see you again soon.